popularity around the world. In fact, as stem cell research increases, so does its utility to help combat a number of diseases. No wonder then that Indian startups are seeing an opportunity there, and Sudhir Syal explores the trend for us.
Just like the life insurance policy which gives you protection against life, there's a new one in the market. It's a biological one, and it's referred to as stem cell banking. One of the oldest players to make its mark in India is LifeCell, based out of Chennai. And for them, it was one particular report which drew their interest to the field.
Nature carried a very strong article about the future of medical practice, where they predicted that more than about 20% of the procedures would in some form or the other incorporate stem cells. So that was the landmark publication which made us look into this very actively.
The company today has 50 centers across India where stem cells are banked. Another new entrant into the space is Mumbai-based Relabs. And like with other players, the process is one which begins right in the delivery room, where umbilical cord and cord blood are collected. Further to this, it's brought into a lab in a neat package and checked for disease. The next step, the extraction of stem cells. So after both blood and cord samples are recovered from delivery, they're processed in this class 10,000 clean room with air so clean that it has less than 10,000 particles per cubic meter. It's within this spotless, clean environment that stem cells are extracted from both the umbilical cord and the cord blood. The entire process takes place within 6 hours of delivery, and the stem cells are then stored within special cryogenic storage containers which store the cells at a temperature of -175 degrees Celsius. Here the cells can be stored for 21 years, with doctors using them to treat regenerative diseases like heart failure, liver cirrhosis and nervous disorders. While stem cell research has seen tremendous advancement, with it costing approximately 75,000 rupees, the marketing strategy to adopt to parents is key. Firms have hence used multiple methods to reach out to parents.
There's a two-pronged strategy. One is through doctors and their clinics, and one is directly through consumers. That's an awareness program we have. See, ultimately when we approach a pregnant lady, she's going to hear from all the cord blood banks and ultimately bank with one which she is more comfortable. So what our endeavor in the direct approach is to make her aware that such a thing is existing.
We market our services through the medical fraternity. We also do undertake a lot of programs with regard to antenatal programs, postnatal programs and other activities which are related to would-be parents and would-be mothers especially.
Another area of concern is the government's lack of support to the industry, and firms here believe that they can look at the West for inspiration.
In the US, umbilical cord blood banking is something that's mandated by law, where information needs to be passed on by gynecologists to expectant parents, so they're well aware about their choices that they have. They could choose to privately bank it, they could choose to discard it or donate it to a public bank, but at least they are made aware about this service.
With over 7 players in the space, industry estimates put the total revenues of the sector at 130 crore rupees, with approximately 1,500 stem cells being banked per month across the country. The industry is expected to grow at 30% year on year. Even so, it hasn't quite convinced the venture capital industry.
I see 3 challenges primarily, acceptability, affordability and availability. Whether 1,50,000 is affordable in India is a question mark right now. Whether it's acceptable because the new categories, a new concept, a lot of education is required. Whether consumers or the parents will accept it is still a question mark in my view.
The entrepreneurs, though, are quietly confident. In their view, they have the big advantage of India's growing population on their side.
Penetration in India is only about 0.1%. So about 1 in about 1,000 children in India born have their stem cells preserved at birth. And if you look at the global indicators such as US, which is the most leading, the penetration is as high as 3%. There are markets like Taiwan and Korea where the penetration is even double digits.
With the kind of progress that R&D has made over the last couple of years, we are very confident that we are going to experience much more successful results out of those R&D activities, which will lead to stem cell therapy. And as more and more people avail of stem cell therapy, the demand for cord blood banking would automatically rise.
With a minimum investment of 15 crores required to set up a facility and high operating costs, there's no doubting that this is an expensive sector to be in. With a slow rate of customer acquisition so far, startups will need to have deep pockets to ensure they cash in on the industry when it does tip. And that could be anywhere from between 3 to 5 years from now.
And as its popularity increases, most also expect the price of cord banking to come down substantially. Of course, that's over the next 5 years. We'll take a breather here on the show, but coming up, it's a service we've all used and benefited from at some point in time. The founder of Just Dial, VSS Money, up next.